Alright, so I have all the things. All the things. This is basically an entire car in my pocket. That's, pretty good. I have to give it that. Unfortunately, it didn't repair the engine block, so I had to buy that. I hate buying the engine block. It's just one of those things that bothers me. I don't want to buy it because it's expensive, and I'm a cheap fuck. Made some mistakes in my purchases. I went a little overboard and purchased things that I didn't necessarily need, but nothing major. Nothing major at all. Let's get you and throw the battery on there. And I think that's about all I can do up here for now. Let's get this car up. Rise, my beauty! Don't hit that. I've actually been in a shop where when they hoisted it up, I've been in one where the antenna actually hit the rolling doors. Like, they had the rolling doors that, unlike these that they actually roll, that it came up, but it came over, and yeah, the antenna smashed up against it. And then another time, the hood almost hit it, but they stopped the hoist in the last second and closed the door. Yeah. Overall, that shop was actually a decent shop. That was just it was just very low. And I think the car that had the antenna hit was actually either the owners or a friend of the owners, and clearly they didn't care. But still, not cool. Not cool at all. But whatever, that was 2 decades ago. Jesus. It's fun to measure things in decades, except then you realize that you're fucking old. Damn it. And for some reason that made me think about September 11th. Figure that out. You know, you hear people are like, do you know where you were on September 11th? And I'll be like, yes, I was in the shop getting brakes done. So, yeah. Yep. I actually didn't believe what they were saying. Like, they didn't have I was in the shop talking to the guys while they were working on my brakes. And they were talking about it. Like, somebody came in from the office and were like, hey, did you guys hear? And I'm like, what? Because the radio in the shop wasn't on loud enough. We were actually just like the regular noise in the shop. They weren't really doing it. Like, the only car they were working on was mine, and you know we were kind of lax that day. Let's just be honest. You know, I was in the shop talking to them. We were just chewing the shit, and yeah, it's like, turned up the radio in the shop. We all, dead silence. Nothing happened. Nobody was doing anything. We were listening to that, and like, it was just disbelief when that shit was happening. And this is, of course, before before data plans and smartphones were really everywhere and like the main thing. So I didn't have a data plan or anything that I could check. Like, my data plan, I had one. I had a BlackBerry, but it was a shitty fucking BlackBerry. So it was just like, it freaked us all out, I think, to hear that shit was going on. And for some reason, yep, me talking about a shop smashing antennas and hoods got me thinking of that. That's kind of weird. It's weird how things go. Yeah, what else? get this on. I totally forgot to put that on. I'm not so much on finish one task before you go to the next. It's just, yeah, it's whatever. Whatever. Nobody cares. It's all good. Let's get this on. This on. Oh. Get the starter up. Can't start the car without a starter. Pop you on. Pop you on. Pop up here. Get you in there. You in there. You on there. You on there. You on there. This is just going together very, very well. It's like figuring out what you have to do. Whoa. Hello, battery in the face. Figuring out what you gotta do beforehand saves time. It's crazy. Yeah, this has actually got me thinking about my time in school, too. And I don't know how to drive, I didn't know how to drive a standard at the time. And I was driving my parents' car. They brought it in for me to do some work on it at the school shop. Like, they bought all the parts and everything, and we were allowed to do that because it was, you know, part of our education, which is amazing. It was great that we could do that, but, you know, I don't know how to drive a standard very... Like, I know the basics of it, but don't know... Let's just go with I'm not good at it. And I'm trying to back the car out. I don't have my license. Like, this is high school. This is... I think I had just got my learner's permit. So, you know, it's still very, very new to driving. And I also didn't want to drive. Like, I was one of those people that was just like, I don't want to drive. I want nothing to do with it. But I ended up driving. I went to drive this car out, try to back it out, and this kid that was, he was a dick. Just an absolute dick. And he took one of the school vans, like the school had a bunch of cars that were actually donated by the GM plant, and he just, like, whipped it around and nearly clipped my car. I was shaken. I, of course, stalled the car because I didn't push the clutch in when I slammed on the brakes. Because, let's be honest, who the hell's gonna think about that at that time unless you actually are, you know, well, taught to drive properly. And I hadn't been taught to drive a standard. Like, I was in the process of learning on an automatic. I was okay driving the automatic, but I was still not great. And I hit the brakes on the standard, stall the car, and he whipped past. And then, this was the best part. Like, the teacher was at the front of the class, and didn't really see it. The guy that did it went and complained about me. Also, I should state that I had to back this out. I was backing it out of the garage, or the shop. And I don't know what he said exactly, but boy, did he get in shit for doing that. It was the funniest day of my life at that point. Because this was a guy that, well, let's just say he was an asshole. We'll just leave it at that. He was a complete asshole. Basically a bully. He was forbidden from touching, like, any of the vehicles. He was only permitted to work on, like, engines and parts that were already off cars. He wasn't allowed to drive any of them, wasn't allowed to do anything because of that for... I think it was about a month. It didn't really last that long, but I think it was enough to be like, don't be an ass. Like, I remember the fear I had when I saw the car coming and not slowing down. Like, I don't know where he came from either. Like, it's not like, oh, just punched the mic. It's not like it was a big, you know, parking lot or anything. He had to have, like, gone for a joyride around the block and came in, whipped off of the road into the parking lot. Like, they basically had their own little parking lot. It was just really small, like, really small and really narrow. And they just, like, I don't know. I don't even know. But at that time, it was the greatest thing in the world to see this guy get in shit for doing that. And really all I saw it was he scared the shit out of me. And could have, you know, destroyed my parents' car. And that would not have gone over well. And I think the school would have then had to pay for it because it was one of their cars and one of their students that did it. So, yeah, I can totally see the teacher not being thrilled by that prospect. And that's that story. That is that story down. Yes. School shop class. I was actually the shop class that gave me a recommendation. He really wanted me to become a mechanic. And he was going to see about getting me like an internship with GM. And I declined him. Because at that point, I was shifting away from automotive into computers. Which I also got recommendations from pretty much all of my teachers in that. Except that... Oh, this side's already on. Okay. I think that's it. Should just be oil pan and rims. Yep, 4 rims and the oil pan. Make sure there's nothing else down here because we know how much it loves to order things. Yep. Alright, that's good. Oh, no, wait. I actually need that open. Because once I put the oil pan in, I gotta put oil in. Yeah, I kind of regret not going that route. Kind of. But I don't think I would have... I don't think much would have changed. I was really happy with what I was doing with computers.